Shalom, call halal Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And I'm just going to open by saying, welcome to the end of Esau's world. Just watched that movie, The Eternals, and they're very well aware of it. All right. No, don't want to spoil the movie, but you know that whole scene with the clouds being split and that, and you know, and that the clouds being split and that particular special power showing up. They know that that's going to come. They know that that's going to happen. All right. And then the whole thing, you know, the scripture that says that Jacob is the former of all things, right? Jacob definitely is a former of all things, because you're going to see in the movie that all the inventions and the technology, well, you know, just go see the movie for yourself. But this is a response to a video that was done, a couple different videos that were done by a couple different elders, and Apostle Ramlab himself did one. So this is also a response to one that he did, and it was he did actually two. He did one. It was called gaslighting, and really referring to the pathetic attempt of David Naachmans' pathetic attempt, and basically debunks himself and his kind. All right. And so my question to him and people like him is that why would Israel need a deliverer if they were not scattered? And the second part of that question would, and how does a nation become scattered? You know, so that's a two-part question. So you know what, let me help you out a little bit. Chattel slavery, man. That's how you scatter a people from one end of the earth to the other. You don't scatter yourself. You know, no one scatters themselves. You get scattered because someone scatters you. All right? But this is Revelation 22. Sound like a riot going on over there. All right, and this is supposed to be a safe, good neighborhood, but you know, angry Jake is out here, man. Your spirits are being riled up. But this is Revelation 22 and verse 18, and it reads, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book." So you remove something from this book, all right, to try to fit your agenda, or you add something to this book to try to fit your agenda, death and destruction is coming to you. You best believe that. All right, and this is hold on, let me grab another scripture. Let me grab this one. Because adding and subtracting scriptures isn't enough. The prophecy of the loss of a lost inheritance is too powerful, too strong, man. But this is Hosea 1 and verse 10, and it reads, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea." All right, and when you look at the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans collectively, and you add in the scattered that are scattered among the heathen nations, even among the small hatters, all right, we're innumerable. All right, that's what that whole DNA collecting thing was about over all these years. That is what Esau was using that for. He was collecting up that DNA, because what he was really trying to do was figure out who among his own people was not his people. All right, but that's a whole nother lesson. But nevertheless, like I said, that prophecy of lost heritage, man, and inheritance, the prophecies are just too many, and you got a people over in the land of Israel. According to them, they've always known they were the people of the Lord, so that makes them fit zero prophecy, zero, because the Israelites would have to find themselves. But let's finish this. It says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there should be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God." All right? Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. This one scripture completely destroys Judaism. Because another prophecy says when Israel goes home, they would dwell in safety alone. The people over there, the Israelis, are far from safe. They're worried about the Palestinians. They're worried about the Iranians enriching their uranium reserves and all other kind of mess, man. So they like I said, they don't fit the prophecies. All right, because when the Israelites go home, all 12 tribes, not just the Jews, all right, you know, or a few people from the tribe of Levi. If you Jewish from the tribe of Levi, you can't be Jewish and a Levite, by the way. You know, that's complete madness. You're either one or the other. All right, because Levites weren't called Jews. Benjamites weren't referred to as Jews. All right, that was a derogatory term that was put on the 3 Southern Kingdom tribes. Okay. For anyone who wants to know. All right, but let's go to Jeremiah 17:4, because you know they come up with this gaslighting doctrines, but they can't answer simple questions about prophecy, even though they try so hard to make themselves fit prophecy, and no one comes with this, because this in Jeremiah 17:4 it reads, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." So my question is to David Naachmans, you know, is when did the Jewish people get cut off from their heritage and serve other gods? All right, when did that happen? And in a land which they knew us not, and then forget who they were. You know, when did it happen? Because according to you, you've always known who you are, or who who your forefathers were. Well, we know that you've always known. You've always known that you were Esau, Edom. That's why you try to cling on to Jacob's heritage so much. And then you make books and doctrines and add scriptures and remove scriptures, change the meaning of words. That's newspeak, all right? And change the definitions of meanings of words. Just all sort of madness to try to hide your lie. Because see, that's the problem. Once you tell a lie, you got to keep telling more lies to cover it. That's just how that works. All right? My favorite on the subject matter, which we all like to use, is Baruch. The 2nd chapter, because it's a very powerful prophecy. All right, and I'm gonna start at verse 30 and read through 34, and it reads, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity." So that means that they went into slavery, but yet you try to add the scripture and say that they never went into slavery. You added a scripture. And the apostle did the research, and that scripture was added around 1995. You couldn't find it before then. And it just so happens that around 1995, the Israelite doctrine was moving heavily throughout New York. You know, one of them things, what's that song, things that make you go, all right? And it reads, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves." So you're going to have to remember who you are, because you were set apart, cut off from your heritage in captivity. All the captivities in the Bible, the Israelites knew who they were. All right? The ones that are written. So, come on, man. So Deuteronomy 28 is the only time, the 28:16 is the only time that's spoken of. All right, so that's your answer. The Israelites went into they got sold. No one was able to buy them, meaning redeem them. You can't, not the English word buy, as if the kind of message you would sell yourselves, but no one would buy. So you're just gonna get on slave ships and sail around the world from port to port until you scatter, trying to sell yourself to people, but no one would buy because they knew they would die. What kind of madness and weak bullshit is that? How did the people in the different ports around the world even know? A ship just show up and say, hey, we're here to be your slaves. If you would just purchase us. So who you gonna get the money to? So I'm gonna sell myself to you, and I keep the money, and I'm still your slave. What kind of retarded mess is that, man? When you just read the logic behind it, it's complete and utter madness. The story is so weak. All right, you gotta let me finish that. And it says, I'm gonna read down to 34, and it says, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. So when you look at what's been going on with the movement of the Hebrew Israelites, not black Hebrew Israelites, that's the label that they like to throw on it, all right? Because you got Israelites that are so-called Hispanic and Native American, and you got those that look like these Edomites that are walking in front of the camera. You still got Jason look like that too, that are calling on the name of Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Ashaya or any of those other names. Okay. Verse 33. And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I shall increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So all this being surrounded by enemies with the iron dome and fences and walls, that's not going to be needed when the Lord returns them. And that's another thing. The Lord said he's going to take them back there, not get on planes and be brought there. The Lord said he's going to do it. He's going to do it in dramatic style. So the Lord's going to deliver you out of the first Egypt, to let you walk through the Lord is dramatic, man. He splits a portion of water and lets you walk through on a land bridge to the other side, all right? But then when he rescues you, he's going to send man-made planes. Get the hell out of here, man. These people are so pathetic and weak, man. Besides, Jewish scholars all throughout the past have admitted it. And I've got tons of books that are telling you, that were written by Edomites, telling you that the Jewish people, the Israelis, are Edomites. The Jewish scholars of the past admitted, it's in 1925 Encyclopedia Judaica, 1925, on page 71, says that Edom, modern day Edom is Jewry. Modern day Jewry is Edom. Modern day Jewry is Edom. All right, there it is, man. And they said they will be a no people. Then the names would not be known in the streets. And guess what scripture that's attached to? One is giving you a direct vision, physical description of how the Jews look. This how the Israelites looked. Okay, this is Lamentation. Uh, 4 and 8. And man, do I love this scripture. And it reads, their visage, when you look upon them, is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. They're not known. Everybody knows who the Jewish people are. Why? Because they own every damn thing. Most of the homes in this neighborhood are owned by Jewish people. Not just so-called white people, but Jewish people. There's a lot of them in this neighborhood, especially a little bit south of here. All right, going into West Town. Okay, it says, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. So it described them as being black and basically a no people. All right. Hollywood is owned and ran by Jewish people. Fact. That's not being anti-Sem or racist. And that's just a fact. Stating it shouldn't be offensive when it's the truth. Okay. Look, there was a 5,000-year-old tomb that was dug up just a couple years ago. I think in 2018, either 2018, 2019, and all the images in this untouched tomb, which have been closed for 5,000 years. When you open it up, it was all a bunch of Egyptians, real Africans, Egyptians, dark complected, what people would call niggers today. All right, and you have to remember, the house of Israel came up amongst those people. Moses lived in the house of those people, in the house of Ramses, who was of Mizraim. All right, and so that was an untouched evidence, and they opened it up. 2018 or 19, they opened up that tomb over 5,000 years, and all the images there weren't no white Egyptians like in that movie that I just saw. They showed you some images from the Ptolemy period. All the history of Israel happened way before the Ptolemies were ever even heard of, before the so-called white man took it over and gave, and now you got Grecian names in Egypt today. Get the hell out of here, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 44. And it reads, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." So the Israelites will be in the tail end of every society that they're in. All right? They won't have neighborhoods. All right? Banks. They just won't, man. The jewelry stores, the markets, you know? And because when you start looking at who owns all the jewelry stores and the markets and the all the different businesses, what you're going to find out that a lot of those businesses are owned by Jewish people. All right? Most of the businesses downtown and surrounding the downtown area are owned by Jewish people. The salons, the boutiques. Okay? I've worked for 3 different ones, so I know. All right? Most of my clients in the past were Jewish, and they all were business owners, property owners. Multiple, like huge apartment buildings and units. I worked for this dude who owned a salon, all right, and he would we would go to his different units in Humboldt Park. He would take me over there to Humboldt Park to get supplies out of. He would go in a random basement in an apartment building because it was his damn building. He would keep supplies for the salon, man. All right, and have me collecting rent for him and shit like that. Okay. Man, these things I know, man. All right. So bankers, you what you're not gonna find. I mean, what you are gonna find are these bankers and these business owners, names like Naachmans, Epstein, Grossman, Burns, Stein, Klein, and Frank. All right. How can you have gated communities and be on top, but yet be suffering? All right. I tell you, the gated community in Cabrini Green, now those are gates that are languishing. Speaking of, let's go there and finish out, man. The gates of Cabrini Green here in Chicago, what's left of it. Because guess what? They tore down Cabrini Green and gentrified most of it. All right? And you go over there, and guess who lives in Cabrini Green now, in those areas, in those multi-million-dollar condos in the sky and houses that they built over there? Well, you guess what? You guess right. All right, but this is Jeremiah 14 and 2. And it reads, "Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground," meaning they are dark. And the Hebrew word there was kadar, so it's talking about their skin, yet again, their appearance. All right? And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. All right? So they're dark skin, kadar. Dark like the earth, like the ground. The ground is different shades of brown, from dark chocolate brown to a sandy color. All different colors of the sand, of the earth, of the dirt. All right, so with that, man, I hope this has been an edifying video. Call halal Yahweh B'Shem Awashai B'Shem Rakakwadash Wa Ababa Bar Kwam Yasarala.